Keegan, it has been 32 years since the Toronto Blue Jays had a chance to make it to the World Series. There have been some lean years in there. There have been playoff disappointments. There have been years when they didn't make the postseason. And there are Blue Jays fans out there whose greatest memory is the Jose Bautista bat flip. So tell me, can you give us the magnitude of what this Game 7 means for a whole generation of Blue Jays fans who never saw the Blue Jays win the 93 World Series?
This would change everything, Jen. There's a lot of fans who do not remember that 92-93 World Series. I was 3 then in 1993. As our viewers can see, I no longer am, but that's why I got into playing baseball. And it has such a grassroots impact, I think, across the country on baseball becoming the cool sport again. You saw that in basketball with the Raptors a few years back, but it becomes that touch point that everyone has forever. And I know that 2015 and 2016 teams, they're great memories, but Toronto's a major market, and a major market like Toronto should not have to celebrate semifinal appearances this long. I think the Blue Jays are due for this, and I think that this market can handle it. It's been long enough.
We watched Vlad Guerrero Jr. grow up playing baseball, of course, because of his father. He is the face of this franchise. He has always been known as a slugger, but he has received his criticism over the years. He was criticized for his conditioning, for his base running, for his consistency, for his defense, but it really seems like he's turned a page in this postseason. What do you think the message is that Vladdy has sent to the baseball world with this playoff performance?
This is what a franchise player is, Jen, and I really admire what Vladdy's done. Remember back in 2019, Vladdy's at third base. He's a little bit bigger. He's not quite as smooth defensively. Back then, he looked like a guy who would be just a hitter, maybe a DH someday. Now he is one of the best defensive first basemen in all of baseball. He deals with all of the things that come with being a franchise player very well, talking to us a million times a season included in that. I think it's been really impressive to see him grow up on and off the field into the man he is today, and we're seeing right now an all-time Blue Jays performance.
There are a lot of players on this team, a handful at least, who were not part of the Blue Jays' plans in springtime, and one of them is going to be on the mound tonight, and that is Shane Bieber. He was acquired at the trade deadline. He was a calculated risk for the Blue Jays. He was still rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, but he is going to make the Game 7 start for the Toronto Blue Jays in one of the biggest games in the history of this franchise. What is it that makes Shane Bieber the man for the moment tonight?
I think he really is, and if he makes this moment tonight, Janet, if he wins this game, he will never buy a beer in this city again. I don't care he's only been here for 3 months and he goes and signs somewhere else. He will forever be a hero among Blue Jays fans. The talent, I think, is obvious. The experience, the Cy Young Award is obvious. But I loved how Bieber handled his last start. And I think we saw a little bit of grizzle from him, which we haven't seen. He allowed 2 runs in that first inning, came back into the dugout and said, pick me up. I've got my best stuff. I know I do. That's what I love to see from a starter, that confidence.
They will have home field in Game 7. As you know, they've been the best team in the American League all season long. They've talked about the fans in the Dome and how they really helped them and propelled them towards victory. How much of an edge do you believe it is that the Jays are playing Game 7 here in Toronto?
It does matter, and often it's not about supporting the home team, but getting on top of the road team. Remember yesterday in Game 6, Eugenio Suarez made 1 mistake. Everyone got on him. There came mistake number 2. Really soon after. You can see that with pitchers, relievers as well. If they make 1 mistake and suddenly 45,000 people are mocking you and on top of you, it's not as easy to bounce back. So I think this is going to be the best crowd we've seen here, maybe since those 15 and 16 runs. Incredible night in here, and they're going to be on top of the Mariners.
You remember, too, home field advantage was not an advantage in the first 4 games of the series. The visiting team won the first 4 games, but then, of course, Seattle won Game 5 in Seattle. The Jays won Game 6 here at the Dome. The Jays hoping for a Game 7 home team win to book their ticket to the World Series.